Do you feel like you heard God speak to you while you were in Mongolia?
Oh, yeah. In a lot of different ways. So, I don't know. Where do you want me to start?
You and I talked about, like you said, that there was this rock that was your rock while you were in Mongolia. What's that?
Oh, yeah. So where we were when I was teaching English, we were way out in this camp. And it was kind of set down in a valley, and it was surrounded by mountains. And it was awesome because you literally could step outside of our cabin, which when you think cabin, you think it wasn't like a cabin like you're thinking. The walls were about a 1/4 inch thin, and you could see outside from inside. But when we went outside, it was literally, you could step off the porch and step right onto the side of a mountain. And every day I had this one specific spot that I would go up, and it was a rock that kind of jutted out from about halfway up the mountain. And I would go and I would sit there, and it was just this really weird place that I experienced God like I've never really have before, and I'm not sure that I will again, if that makes sense. It was just, before I went to Mongolia, I was not in a good place spiritually. Like, I hadn't felt the presence of God in a long time. And that really bothered me, because I feel like the presence of God, once you feel it, it's something that you long for again. And it had been, to be honest, like years since I had felt the presence of God. And so I remember being there, and I bought a journal as soon as I got there to Mongolia. And I remember sitting on this rock and just writing in this journal, literally begging God, like, I just want to feel you. I want to feel your presence. Like, I'm so sick of just pretending like I do, even though I don't. And from that point on, it was just this really weird, like, I didn't feel like I was just sitting on a rock on the side of a mountain. I felt like I was not really sitting with God, but sitting like in Him, if that makes any sense. It was just this weird, when I was there, I was completely at peace and just felt like total rest. And I've never felt anything like it before. And I don't know, like I said, I don't know if I'll feel anything like that again, so.
Something from Mongolia, or taught you something. So what do you think the main thing God's been teaching you through this experience has been?
While I was there, I think the thing that really resonated with me was I had just been in this dark place, and I kind of felt like, I mean, this might be strong words, but I felt like I was past the point of return. Like, I didn't know if I was ever going to get back to a place where I felt so close to God again, or that He could make me into something new. And you always hear people say, like, God's always willing to start fresh, and God can make you a new creation. But and I believed that, but it's like I believed it for everyone else but for myself. But while I was there, it became so apparent that He was doing that for me, even though I felt so unworthy. It was the first time that I had felt just like total, like I didn't feel stressed out. I wasn't, like, I just felt totally at peace, and my soul was at rest. And I felt like He was just making me a new person every day while I was there. And I think it's because I was just so far removed from all of my worries at home. And one thing that I really struggle with here is that I like to control situations, and I think that I need to be in charge of everyone else's life along with my own. And being literally halfway around the world, I obviously couldn't do that. I couldn't even call home for weeks at a time. So I had no clue what my husband was doing or what was happening with my family or anything like that. And so I just had to let that go. And through that, God taught me, like, this is you, like, this is about me and you, and it's your life is not about anyone else. So
Do you feel like you changed the way that you listen for God?
yeah.
How so?
I don't know, being in Mongolia made me realize, like, if you really do have that longing to like feel him or hear him and honestly just, I don't know how to word it. Like, I would pray, but it was like I really wasn't expecting an answer, you know? But in Mongolia, like, I wanted that so bad. Like, I was away, it was a way for me, like, I was away, I could have no distractions, and I wanted so desperately to like feel his presence while I was there. And I think because of the fact that I was praying, expecting an answer, made a huge difference, because here at home, a lot of times I pray and I don't really expect anything to happen. That makes a huge difference, you know, because when you're expecting things or looking for things, then you're gonna find them.